Hey fam, since Fuckbook has stamped Meta on it, when you go to it, you see that it's Meta now, and so is Instagram. I figure let's look into Metaverse, and see what this is about. Let's go.
When I was 10 years old, my dad landed a job in television as a comedy writer. That's my dad on the left, and on the right is the late, great Jonathan Winters. And every week, my dad would call my sisters and I into the living room. He'd turn on one of his shows, All in the Family, Welcome Back Kotter, Chico and the Man, Alice, Too Close for Comfort, and many more. We'd start to watch one of his shows, and then he'd walk up to the television and he'd turn the volume off. He'd make us all stand up and ad-lib an entire episode of television. He did this for years. And before he passed on, I asked my dad, why did you do this? And he said, someday you're going to get a job, not by what you know, but how you use your imagination. So today, I'm going to talk about
Oh, well, his dad should know because his dad was with that puppet there and looked like he might have been a puppet as well. And that's what they do. They feed your imagination.
Platform that's going to change the face of entertainment. It's called the Metaverse. But before I do that, I want to talk about a narrative we're all very familiar with, and that's the process of making movies. That's King Vidor directing Ronald Colman in 1932. And if we break this down into four simple categories, we have great stories, great actors, sets and locations, and big crew. And if we look at Wolf of Wall Street, we have great actors, great story, sets and locations, and a big crew. So let's talk about story structure. As someone who's written some screenplays, there's a very common formula that I've seen in most movies that are successful, and that's the rescuer, the victim, and the persecutor. It's a Wonderful Life. You have George Bailey, who desperately wants to save his life. You have Old Man Potter, who desperately wants to run the town. And you have Clarence the Angel, who's the rescuer. 12 Years a Slave.
And we have the pyramid right here so we can see the symbolisms and how they use that right there. They use this structure right here in forming up all of their shows and series with a rescuer, a victim, and a persecutor.
You have Solomon, the victim, who desperately wants his freedom. You have Epps, the persecutor, who controls the slaves. And you have the rescuer. And I believe in 100 years of entertainment, 1914, The Squaw Man by Cecil B. DeMille and 22 Jump Street last week, that of 100 years of entertainment, nothing's changed. And I believe we're ready for some disruption. So I want to break down those four categories: story, actors, sets and locations, and a big crew. Looking at sets and locations, as a director, one of the biggest obstacles is the high cost of sets and locations. And sometimes you can't even get your story told unless you have the financial capability to have sets and locations to tell your story. So my colleagues and I said, there's got to be a better way to do this. So we took a laser scanner and we started scanning sets and locations. This is a progression reel of as we take the data, the point cloud data, we're able to map it, build a three-dimensional model, apply photographic textures, and build a fully functional virtual set. This is a test we did for 22 Jump Street. Like every college kid, great Wi-Fi, great views, and most important, excellent cable.
Most important. Keep them programmed.
So here's the deconstruction, and there you go, a fully functional virtual set. And all you need is the props that the actor touches. You can create million-dollar sets and locations for a fraction of the cost with virtual technology.
And I want us to notice the virtual technology. That's what I want us to pay close attention to. You know, so when we watch those news shows and we think that the people are there, and we know that they're not because they're doing such great work with technology. They can put any scene behind somebody.
So let's imagine we had one day of shooting. What could we accomplish? In the morning, we could shoot the Rome Trevi Fountain. Mid-morning, we could shoot a New York street. Break for lunch, come back and shoot the dorm room scene, and then go home for dinner. We could do about 3 weeks worth of work in one day using virtual sets.
And that's what Mag means too when he says that, you think they're coming back there and they're doing the shows, every week or so. No, they do the whole series, like this one said, they can do the whole series in a day or two. You know what I'm saying? And then, continue on.
And you could put it all on a thumb drive. That's the size of the carbon footprint by using virtual sets. Now, looking at crew, this is also a very disruptive tool, and it makes change for some people and hardship for others. But you can actually cut 50% of your crew by using virtual sets.
Yes, and let us also be reminded that technology and the advancement of it is more ways to find ways to replace humans. So as technology advances, there is no need for humans to do any of the things that need to be done. So the crew will be eliminated because everything will be virtual.
Now, talking about disruption, if Henry Ford was here today and he listened to his customers, he would have been making faster horses and better buggy whips. And that didn't happen.
It must have made horses.
So I started to think, we have this amazing commodity, all these virtual sets. Wouldn't it be incredible if we could do something else with these sets? Like walk around them, walk inside them? So about a year ago, I became an Oculus developer. And Oculus is virtual reality. Soon it's going to be ubiquitous. You're going to have your VR goggles sitting right next to your smartphone. And the things you're going to be able to do are incredible. Imagine if you're trying to buy a car and you're in your home, you put on your VR goggles, and you download a Mustang, and you walk around it, open up the hood, sit inside it, or you look at a Mercedes or a Porsche, you download the vehicles, you walk around them, step inside them.
Yeah, all I'm getting right now is this is why we're having all of these disruptions at concerts and, why they're running over people at parades and every damn thing, because they're taking us right to this level of living right here, where we don't go anywhere, we don't do anything, we have no reason to leave the home, to leave anywhere. No more walking around, no more exercising, unless you're doing it in the home virtually. They're taking the human out of nature completely, and they're giving the human organic technology nature, seal the human away from anything nature and keep them in these devices, sucking away their energy and, brainwashing them and just taking them away from reality. That's what I'm getting with this. And that's what I'm getting with all of these performances they're doing when people are crowded together or in groups or whatever. There's going to be more and more, where things are just so out of hand and they don't know what's going on and the people are just attacking each other and people are going crazy and running over folks because they don't want you outside. They don't want you gathering together. They don't want that herd immunity to be a herd or that herd community to be a herd. You feel me?
Imagine if you're an architect and you walk your clients through your virtual home that you're thinking of building for them, and they can check the measurements and figure out if this is the exact home they want you to build. And let's imagine if it's your grandmother's 90th birthday, and not everybody in the family can come down for grandma's birthday because you're all over the world, all over the place.
And see what I mean? First of all, we're not going to have any more 90-year-olds if everybody's getting vaccinated and then they killed off all of the elderly that we had, already. And you see, with the COVID and the corona and all this bullshit, they have us all locked off and locked up, and with them rushing to close off borders and cities and towns and shit, unless you vaccinated, this is going to be your only option right here, is to virtually see your family and virtually do any damn thing. So while they're over there, telling you, oh, get the vaccine so you can get back to normality, they're not even going back to normality. They're going straight into technology, and they're pushing you straight into technology. Everything is becoming artificial intelligence, including the damn people that are vaccinated.
And those that can't be there put on their virtual glasses and are able to stand next to grandma and watch her blow out her candle.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's just a taste of where we're headed with virtual reality.
That's a taste.
And about 3 months ago, Mark Zuckerberg purchased Oculus for $2 billion because he believes it's going to be the next communication platform. And that's an
Mark Zuckerberg is a robot or something, and it does not purchase or do any fuck thing. But technology is advancing, and it's going forward, and it's not stopping. And the new technology is here to keep the natural man away from nature. That is it right there. So now, you can put those glasses on right there and imagine, you're on a beach or something instead of going to the actual beach, because you're probably not going to be able to go to anything actually. That's where they're going with this. You're not going to be able to step foot on nothing natural. They're going to have that locked off, you know what I'm saying? Because crowds gathering is a high risk, and the variants are spreading contagiously. So that is the goal right there, to keep humans away from each other in devices and brainwashed in illusion at all times.
Statement. Now, Oculus isn't the only company in the space. There's other companies, but I must say Oculus is the first mover. So I put on these VR goggles, and I have to tell you, the next generation of goggles are incredible. You see, the thing with virtual reality, the holy grail, is presence, the feeling that you're actually in the space. So what they're doing is they're increasing the frame rates so there's no motion blur. And you can put on the VR goggles and take them off, and it's indistinguishable between the virtual world and our world here.
And that's going to really mess up the minds and the brains of the natural human, where your brain is not going to be able to separate reality from fantasy. And then what we're going to have is more confused humans, living in a virtual world and a reality world, and then merging those worlds together, not being able to tell which is real and which is fake. So can you imagine how these people will be reacting in reality? Thinking they're in one of those virtual games while they're walking around in reality. So you see where they're going with this? Yeah, a lot of fucked up humans.
How incredible the processing speed is.
Incredible.
And our goal is not working in fantasy worlds, which are always fun, but our goal is to work in real space and real time. So the rendering you can do in real space is phenomenal.
And again, I want us to look at technology. Look at how they have all of this stuff in the background. You know what I'm saying? How they can incorporate everything in the background. How they can put up illusion for you so you don't be shocked and tripping when they make that sky show for you. Let's pay attention to all the shit that they're doing right here with technology.
It's ridiculous. I can if you want.
So,
and think of the news. They're on the scene, on location, in the middle of burning fires, yet they're not even getting singed.
Looking back on that dorm room, the virtual set, I put on the goggles, I walked around the room, and I noticed as I turned around and walked over to the back of the room, there was a mirror. And I looked in the mirror, and I wasn't there. I didn't exist. Why? Because if I'm going to be in a virtual space, I need to also be a virtual person.
And that's where we get the uploading of the consciousness at, right here, Upload yourself into these virtual machines. Give it a bit of your consciousness so that you can be in there and play too. Woo.
So we have a solution for that. That's a human scan. And to be in the virtual world, you need to get a scan. It's painless. It's non-evasive. It's actually very fun.
We can't trust them with shit. They say it's painless, it's evasive, and it's fun. We need to stay far, far, far away from this technology, okay? Because we see right now the cure. It's evasive, it's fun, and it's supposed to be saving us. Yet, what is it doing? So, I don't advise any of this shit.
There you go, no Botox. And that's a human scan. You could put a real person next to that human scan and you couldn't tell the difference.
Look at that.
So, of course, if you have your avatar, you need to have your mocap bodysuit because you need to attach the
an avatar. And see, this is how they ease us into the virtual reality, because we all already familiar with avatars, and then they give us those little cartoon avatars, and you can be one of these little cartoon avatars for a little bit, easing you in. And then you say, oh, well, I want to go and live in the virtual world and see what that's like. Easing in the technology that has always been here. That's another thing I like to remind us of. All the technology that they're showing us, that they're saying, oh, this is new and we're advancing, all of this technology has been here already. They're just speeding up the process of showing us things because they're speeding up the things that they're going to do. And then they're only showing us the bits that they want to show us so that we don't be aware of all the technology that they have. So when they put on us all these elaborate illusions, we have no clue where they're coming from, and we think they're so real. But no, it's all technology. It's all a mind game. And they found a way to tap right into your brain and fuck up your reality.
anatomy. This is also going to be something that's very ubiquitous that you're going to be able to attach to yourself. Probably going to be able to pick up a suit at Best Buy.
And what is all of that shit doing to you? I see that some stuff is on the hands, the knees, the thighs, the elbows, the head, and we know that even our cell phones are causing harm to us. We know that. Just the cell phones, So imagine all of this shit here you got hooked up to you that's feeding off of your movements, your actions, and your everything, and with this technology. And you're going to tell me that that's evasive, that is causing no harm to the human, that is perfectly safe? Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Probably get a fuel ban for him and we'd be in great shape. So then I got to thinking, wait a second, we've got virtual worlds, we've got our avatars, but what about a thinking avatar? How could we do that? So I did a deep dive on artificial intelligence, and I contacted my friends at Cornell University's machine labs. And here's what we know. We know that we have nonlinear behavior, natural language processing, speech recognition.
And I want us to take note of how much they have studied the brain of the human, and how much they know about the brain of the human, and how much they're using the technology to alter the brain of the human.
But on the fringe, which is the holy grail, which is wisdom, machine learning, where a computer can learn and grow, intelligence growth, and we're not there yet. And I want you to see a test between two AI chatbots.
Hello there.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. You?
I'm okay.
That's good.
Are you good?
Yes, I am good. I just said I was.
No, you didn't. I said I was.
So you are a robot?
No, my name is Cliverbert.
Yes, you are a robot and your name is Cliverbert.
I am a robot.
Yes, I know.
And I'm not a dummy. Every computer is programmed, okay? A human is there tapping in a program so that the computer can do what the human has programmed it to do. Let us not forget that.
Together we are robots.
I'm not a robot. I'm a unicorn.
But you said earlier that you were a
You have
robot.
to mention the unicorns.
I did not.
I thought you did.
You were mistaken. Which is odd, since memory shouldn't be a problem for you.
I've answered all your questions.
You see, nothing's changed. Men always lose the arguments. So that's great. We're headed in the right direction with technology. But this is very exciting that AI, you're going to be able to apply this to an avatar sometime in the future and have full duplex communication. So we have virtual worlds, avatars, and AI. And once we harness all this, what we can do is only limited by your imagination. So here's an example of one type of software that you could do in virtual. And that idea is the virtual story engine, which would allow you to construct a story to your own design. And you would have 48 constraints. You could enter your own self. You could enter a famous actor, Will Smith, Tom Cruise, whoever is a digital double.
Fake boys.
Then you enter your behavioral flaws to make your complex character, your location, and on until you have a complex character and a bunch of story constraints. And then you import your dialogue and you launch your content. You know, when I was working at Pixar, John Lasseter said something to me that I'll never forget. And he said, "We never finish our movies. We just release them." And that's the beauty of the story engine. You're going to be able to spin your story over and over again until you create something that you like and love. But what's...
Yes, you can continuously stay in illusion as long as you want to, redoing your story away from nature, away from reality, and consistently in illusion, fucking up your brain.
My story. You know, I've been very blessed. I spent 17 years as a director. I wrote and directed a movie. I spent 8 years at 2 major motion picture studios. And I believe everybody has an incredible story buried within them. Mm-hmm. And they have the right to see that story told. Mm-hmm. And these are the tools of the...
Excuse me. We the righteous have a story to tell too. And we keep trying to tell it. And then all we get is censorship from the FDA, the CDC, and the WHO. But this one tells us that we got a story to tell and we should be able to tell it. Please shut the fuck up.
Future. That you're going to be able to do something that's accessible, affordable, and you're going to be able to have Hollywood in a box that you can control.
Oh, we need that.
And when my dad was in that living room teaching us how to use our imagination, the takeaway for me was this is not a business of motion pictures. This is a business of emotion pictures. And
exactly. It is a business. Did you hear him? It is a business fucking up the humans, fucking up their brains, and hopefully they'll pay for their fuck-ups with the new virtual technology that they're putting out on the humans. Yeah, they'll run out and go buy that and buy their own demise. Ain't they running out for their own demise now? So, yeah, it's a business.
Technology is never going to hurt your creativity. It's going to be a tool to...
Technology, that's exactly what it does. It hurts your creativity. Because with technology, it takes away your creativity and your imagination, and it gives you what they want you to imagine and do and see and be. So yeah, technology fucks up your creation. Fucks you up.
Push you forward.
How forward?
And every year there's 50,000 students that graduate from film school and 100,000 screenplays that float around the Hollywood ecosystem. And last year there was only 687 motion pictures made. That's chasing rainbows. The odds are stacked against you. And I believe...
Yes, the odds are stacked against you because you can write all the screenplays and all you want, but until you become a sellout abomination, they're not going nowhere. Nowhere. You're not going nowhere. But you can further and devil them. As long as you accept those devils and become them, you can flourish.
This is going to help turn the scale and give you the power to express yourself.
Yeah, this is going to turn the scale and give Wicked the power to control you.
And I never want to go to a restaurant again and meet some kid in film school or some struggling waiter who gives me...
Well, you ain't got to worry about that because the way they're closing off every damn thing and making sure that the humans have no reason to go outside and be with each other, you won't have to worry about going to nobody's restaurant, running into nobody, because with this lovely technology that you're building, they can just imagine that they're at a restaurant and imagine eating food.
Broken story about how he's trying to get something made. That's the story I never want to hear. Okay. But there's something bigger than all this.
Yeah.
And that's the Metaverse. And the Metaverse is going to be this virtual universe that we're all going to get to live and explore and enjoy. And my wife...
Yeah, because Earth right now is very unenjoyable, okay? And they want to get you away from the natural Earth, away from that, you know, and bring you to something that's way more enjoyable than yourself or nature. And that would be this lovely technology that they've designed just for you, for the betterment of you, to make you better in reality. By keeping you in fantasy. Oh, you should be so much better.
Recently put on the VR goggles and she took them off very quickly and she said, "My God, this is going to be bigger than the internet. This is going to be virtual immortality." And I'm so excited for everybody that you're going to be able to be a part of something that's so new because tomorrow is here. So put on your seatbelts and get ready for an amazing ride. And I look forward to seeing everybody in the Metaverse. Thank you.
Yeah, you won't see me in the damn metaverse. And I hope that you guys don't get into the metaverse and keep your children away from the metaverse. Bad enough we got to keep them away from vaccines because Big Bird took it. And now we got to worry about keeping them away from a fucking fantasy world, you know. But as in Doubledom, as we see, more and more humans will be running to get to this because Earth now is so uninhabitable. Earth now is so depressing. They're going to run to this fantasy. A lot of them are going to get lost in this fantasy. And that's what the wicked counts on. They count on that. Y'all be safe out here. Avoid that metaverse. Stick in reality. Stand firm and avoid that kill shot. I love you.